So today we are going to be doing a mock test with another one of my star students, Frankie. I've been teaching Frankie since the beginning of her driving career. Poor thing.
Ages ago.
But she's done really well. She knows how to drive to a really good standard. Bit nervous when it comes to tests. We have done a couple mock tests in Wood Green. We haven't done any in Enfield yet. So today I'm going to put her on a little bit of a challenging route.
I just asked for an easy one.
I know, but the fans want more. So, same rules apply as always. The test lasts 38 to 40 minutes. During that time, one manoeuvre plus possibly the emergency stop. During that time, I'm going to ask you to also do one of the show me, tell me questions on the move.
Yeah.
The independent drive today is going to be following the sat-nav. Okay, as always, I'll put the sat-nav at the bottom of the screen as well, so you can see what we're going to be following. So, good luck.
Thank you.
As Frankie pulls away here, she doesn't check her right shoulder, so gets a driver fault for moving off safety.
After 100 yards, go left on the roundabout and take the first exit, Solar Way.
Frankie's mirror work is very, very good, and you'll see this throughout the entire test. She keeps updating her rear view mirror every 5-6 seconds, and she'll check it at the critical points, so for signalling, change of direction and change of speed. Frankie's driving a little bit too close to the car in front and within the 2-second distance, so therefore she'd get a driver fault for following distance. Enfield Innover Park's test centre is coming up on your right hand side.
After 200 yards, go left on the roundabout and take the first exit, A1055, Mollison Avenue. Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
Just to let you know, this route can also be done in reverse. So at the next set of traffic lights, the examiner or the sat-nav will ask you to continue to go straight rather than turning right.
After 300 yards, keep right, then turn right.
Now Frankie gets a little bit confused. She moves into this filter instead of going up to the traffic lights, which is not a big problem. But when she realises her fault, you can see she lets go of the steering wheel. Now, some examiners may give that as a major fault. At least one hand must be on the steering wheel at any given time. I've given her the benefit of the doubt, there's no one behind. She does check her mirrors before moving across, so I've given her a driver fault for steering instead. And as mentioned before, Frankie's mirror work is very good. You'll see she checks the left mirror here, she knows what's going on the outside.
After 300 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the second exit, A1010.
So this shows why it's important to look at the sat nav and to also look at the signs. You'll see when she comes up to this next roundabout, she'll get confused on where
Cross
to
the
go.
roundabout and take the second exit.
That one?
I can't say anything.
What, this one? Definitely wasn't.
By asking on the roundabout, the examiner won't say anything, and the reason for that is because it can be more dangerous if they tell you to go a direction that you wasn't intending to go. So they're not trying to be rude, it's just for a safety point of view.
After 300
Remember,
yards,
go whichever
cross
way
the
is safe and
roundabout
legal for the
and take
lane that you're
second
in.
Exit, A121, Winston Churchill Way.
Frankie does really well here to notice that the driver in front is not doing what they should be. She's kept a good distance, she's allowed them to move before proceeding. Good job.
After 800 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit, B198, Lieutenant Ellis Way. Cross the roundabout and take the second exit, B198, Lieutenant Ellis Way.
Frankie's planning here is very good. She keeps the pedestrian crossing open and she's already looking to the right hand side as she goes past this crossing. So she's already mapping out what's going on. Now she's seen the gap even though the smart car next to her doesn't think it's big enough, and you can see there was no problems. So very good confident drive. Now here she does move to the right to avoid the truck that was coming out, so again very good awareness, no problems with her crossing that white line because again she's already been checking her mirrors. Ahead we can see some road maintenance vehicles. Remember, if they are travelling less than 15 miles per hour, you can overtake even if it's a solid white line, but this is a 2-lane road, so overtaking here would be fine. You can see there's some uncertainty though, and Frankie's not sure. The vehicle in front now puts its right flashing arrow on to give her a bit of a prompt to overtake. So I've given her driver fault here for response to other road users.
Cross the roundabout and take the first exit, B198, Lieutenant Ellis Way.
Frankie's position here is perfect. She keeps to the left hand side throughout the entire roundabout.
After 300 yards, go left on the roundabout and take the first exit, B156, Goffs Lane. Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
Frankie's planning here is brilliant. She sees the van on the right, uses the extra brake to allow the van to drive past before proceeding, and then not allowing the car to stop. Great job.
Park on the left where it's safe and convenient to do so, please. Thank you, and driver when safe to do so.
So in the comment section below, comment whether you think she checks her right shoulder here. From the examiner's point of view, it just looks like she's checked out the side window, and therefore she gets a driver fault again for moving off safety.
After 300 yards, cross the roundabout and take the first exit, B156, Cunfley Hill. Cross the roundabout and take the first exit.
Up ahead, the downhill gradient starts to get quite steep, so it's best to select a low gear. So if you're in a manual car, go down 1 or 2 gears from the one you're in, or if you're in an automatic, select a lower gear. This car, the Toyota CHR, has B for braking for this very purpose, so I'd prefer for her to go into that gear rather than relying on the brakes to produce a brake fade. So I've given her a driver fault for control gears, but you didn't think you'd get that in an automatic test.
You have reached your destination.
And just continue to drive once you get there. That's the end of the independent drive. I'll tell you where to go from here on.
Frankie's going to get a driver fault for response to traffic lights here. Now, why do you think this happens? Personally, I think it's because the van opposite doesn't go and she's just copying them. Don't be a sheep. Make your own decisions in life. Don't rely on anyone else.
Again, I'd like you to park on the left where it's safe and convenient to do so, please. Thank you, and drive away.
Again, Frankie doesn't check her right shoulder properly when she pulls away here, so she gets another driver fault for moving off safety. This bit of road up ahead catches a lot of people out. You can see the white line all of a sudden appears here in the middle of the road, which is what we call a hazard warning line. Now we can see that the road ahead has a giveaway and entry line, so we're following a curve. Now if you were to go straight there, that could very easily be a fail because you haven't responded to the road markings properly. Frankie's doing a really good job with this cyclist. She's keeping well back, she's not taking any chances, and she waits until she can see properly. The brow of the hill does make it more difficult to spot if anything's coming, so it would not be a safe place to overtake. She checks her mirrors as she goes into this national speed limit and she puts her foot down. You can see she's as far over to the right hand side as possible. Superb overtake. Take the next road on the left. Safe to do so, I'd like you to turn on your side lights, please.
Side lights.
Thank you. See some 30 signs, but Frankie's still going slightly over 30 as she goes through. She is slowing down though, so she gets a driver fault for use of speed. Again, very good planning from Frankie here. She doesn't block the driveway. Remember, with roadworks, you will have this red sign in front of you. When red light shows wait here. The problem is, in this situation, it's badly positioned. On the other hand, though, sometimes if you are too far back, the sensor might not go off. So if you're thinking it's not gone to green for a long time, it could be worth moving forward just to trigger the sensor. Road on the left.
roundabout ahead, turn left please. I'd like you to park one car length before not this vehicle but the next one, okay? So leave just enough space for you to get out.
What, here?
Yep. Let's keep getting closer, 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 closer. Keep it going, 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 and stop. Thank you. And driver when safe to do so.
Watch the difference in this blind spot check. She leans forward and looks behind. That is what we wanted to see for every pull away. Make it obvious, but also check the blind spot. If the B pillar, so the pillar that's between the front and rear windows, is obscuring your view, that's not a good thing. You need to be able to see around it, which is why we call it a blind spot. So lean forward, make sure it's safe.
I was just about to say that.
Is it my company? That's not my dog's name, though.
That's your dog's name?
No, it's not.
Oh, so I was going to say.
Bella.
I was going to say because in Filipino, Lola is granny.
Oh, really?
So with your early lessons, that was quite appropriate.
Oh,
Frankie's approach to this is a little bit too quick, so as she goes into the turn, she doesn't have time to really react if the vehicle's coming from her left hand side and has to brake quite harsh. Take your time, it's a very blind corner, and because you're crossing the bus lane it makes it a little bit more dangerous as well. So I've given her a driver fault here for approach speed.
End of the road, turn left. I'd like to park just after this white van. Don't worry about the driveways on this occasion. Leave room to get back out again. That's fine, thank you very much. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is your manoeuvre. I'd like you to pull up alongside the vehicle that's in front of you, and then reverse into the space this side of the vehicle. Go back no more than 2 car lengths, not any further back than where we are now. And we are allowed to block the driveway on this occasion as well. Try to be relatively close to the curb, but do be careful of the dropped curb here. Treat it the same as the normal pavement. Okay.
So Frankie's obviously a bit confused on which way to steer here. Remember, point and shoot. If you want the back of the car to go away from the curb, which is what we need to do here, we should be steering to the right, and if you want the back of the car to go to the curb, you steer to the left. She does figure it out, and I don't really have a problem with that, but from this point she doesn't check the right hand side at all, so therefore she gets a driver fault for observations on the manoeuvre. Thank you. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Drive all men safe to do so, please. Take the next road on the left. Take the next road on the right. Turn right at the end of the road. Take the next road on the right. At the end of the road, turn left. Roundabouts ahead, turn right, second exit. driving test centre is on your left here. We're not allowed to go in there because we're not on test. So we're going to leave the test and finish it here.
Okay, so how do you feel that went?
I think it went horrible.
Okay, why?
Oh, wait. There were bad things. Like going a bit fast. I'm turning in sometimes.
When turning?
When I turned in, and when there was like a tight road and there was cars, the cars coming a bit fast.
Yeah, I agree. So you got a driver fault for that one. You
Yeah.
got a minor fault. So yeah, like you said, a
Yeah.
bit too quick. Anything else? Do you think pass or fail?
Fail.
Okay. Why do you think you got a fail?
I just did things wrong.
Okay. You got 11 driver faults or minors. You got 1 serious fault, major.
Yeah. What one was that?
And you are going to kick yourself at this.
Oh, don't tell me.
Do me a favour, check your right blind spot for me.
Yeah, that was definitely it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What
I knew
you're
it right after I did it. I was like, oh my god, I didn't check.
Yeah, what you're doing is you're checking here, but you're not doing that.
Yeah.
On one occasion you did,
Mm.
and you'll see in the video the difference between the two from the passenger side.
Yeah,
And this
yeah.
is what the examiner is looking for, okay? Because you've got blessed with hair, sadly not, it's quite, exactly, it's harder for the examiner to see when you're checking your blind spot. But when you did the first one, I could see you only did this. So
Yeah.
what the examiner will then do, when you check that blind spot the second time, they'll lean forward to see the amount of rotation you're
Yeah.
getting. And it was obvious from our point of view that you just wasn't getting the rotation to check the blind spot. And that's what you're majoring. Okay.
Amazing.
The driver faults that you got, the manoeuvre observation, because you didn't check the blind spot
Yeah.
on one occasion, you did, like on the first pull away, you did after that though. Gears, I'm being a bit picky with this one. When you're going down a sharp downhill, remember select
I know, I
braking.
always think of that and I'm like, oh.
Okay. This car's got braking for when you're going down a steep hill. It just basically gives you engine braking to stop the car from accelerating down a hill. If your car doesn't have a braking system, you will still be able to select a manual gear, select a low gear, so use possibly second gear on a 30-mile-an-hour road, third gear on a 30, depending on the gradient, but that will stop you from having to use your brakes constantly, and then that will eliminate the chance of getting what's called brake fade, which is really dangerous. It's when your brakes basically don't work, you just carry on accelerating, so rely on the engine braking instead. You got 1 for traffic lights response. Traffic lights gone green,
Yeah, go on.
car opposite you's not moving, and you're just basically looking at them thinking, why are you not moving? And I'm looking at you going, why are you not moving?
No one's moving.
Don't rely on other people, okay?
Yeah, I think I just went blank at that point. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, you were being a sheep, basically.
Yeah.
You just copied the car opposite. If it's green, don't worry about them. Okay, there's no pedestrians crossing at that point. Response to other road users. This was on the dual carriageway when you had those vehicles with the flashing orange lights ahead of you.
That was just stupid.
Yeah, there's no restriction on you
Yeah.
not being able to overtake there, so that was fine. You did wake up, but
I was like, why am I not going into the right lane right now?
yeah, there was a bit of an interesting one, but you did sharpen up and you did do what you needed to do. It wasn't affecting anyone. User speed, like you correctly said, you were going slightly over the speed limit when you went through.
What, into 30 miles?
Yeah, you need to get to 30 before
Before.
the speed, really important. Following distance right at the beginning of the test, driving far too close to the car in front of
Yeah.
you. At that point it was dry, so 2 second gap, you were 1 second. Obviously now it's raining,
Yeah.
so we need a 4 second. Approach speed we've already spoken about. And steering. This was when you were following the sat-nav, and the sat-nav said in 300 yards, bear right, and then turn
I
right.
hate when they say they're right.
Yeah, it catches a lot of people out. Remember, bear means it's either basically going to be a split in the lanes,
Yeah.
or it's going to be
I was
a
like-
bend. Now, you checked your mirrors and you moved into that space. There was no one behind, okay? And then before you came back out, you did check your mirrors again. So I didn't have a problem with that. Okay, your mirrors, by the way, very, very good. Okay, didn't get any problems at all with your mirrors. You're checking your rear view mirror all the time, which is perfect. Okay, but when you went the wrong way and you went, you've let go of the steering wheel.
Did I?
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, why? Now, at that point,
Why did I do that?
because you were going slow, there was no one else around, I gave you the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Now, when it comes to the test, the examiner could very easily give you a major fault for that. Okay, you must have one hand or some way of controlling the steering wheel at any point. Okay, it was a fraction of a second. We were going slow, so I was being generous with that one. But yeah, don't. Okay. So all in all, really good test. Okay, one silly major, which is so easy to fix. Okay, and then hopefully you'll pass come your test in X amount of time. All right. So thanks for viewing. I hope that's helped. And if you have any questions, stick a comment in the comment section.